Hey everybody, this is Blaze the Firewolf. This is another one of those update videos on the relics that I've been finding. These relics I found back around between November and December. I think the last time I metal detected last year, 2023, was December 12th. I showed these to a good friend, Sister Ann. She and I figured out what these are, at least what the shells are, about how old they are, history, and interestingly, what type of things that I've kind of got from. Unfortunately, I couldn't pull out exactly what this is, if it is the end of a railroad spike or not. But if it is, it could be a broken end of a railroad spike. The ones that we've looked up are about this big, maybe a bit bigger. But I will give credit. This one here, it's very squarish until you get to this point here where it's kind of like a triangle. It could be a square. It could be a spike. I found it not too far from the road. All of these I found at Prospect Park. If you want to see, my full round, go back to see my full roundup video on these. But I allowed her to. I asked if she can help write these down on what these are, what we could find out online, and what these items are. This is definitely a beauty product. Michelle's beauty accessories or company. This is for sure 1950s. It's broken, but who knows? It probably was tossed around in the dirt for a lot and just ended up sticking out of the dirt. It's copper. I believe it's copper. It's the top to a lipstick case. And this is what I believe to be a lipstick tube with the case inside of it. And we found out Raleigh's is actually a very independent company. The person who was born, the creator, or the person, was born in 1870 up until he passed away in 1951. But his products are still around to this day, possibly, or they could be discontinued. I forgot, unfortunately, after the research, but I found one. We found one online that looks just like this, but it's all shiny, brand new, like it just came out of the factory. It's brass. It's definitely like 1950s era style feel. So for sure it's the 1950s. Has a cool design on it. We definitely wrote down that Michelle's Cosmetics 1950s. That's what this is. So this key, this is the key that I found staked into the dirt with another key attached to it. I was surprised about looking this key up. I really was. This key turned out to be this with the other key that unfortunately broke. It turned out that set is part of a DeSoto vehicle car key from between the 1930s, 1940s. Yeah, this is from around the 1930s, 1940s. Made of aluminium. It's amazing that I found this on the surface, just staked into this dry dirt by an orange tree. I mean, you gotta metal detect Prospect Park. You gotta. And because you're gonna find some history. You're gonna find some really odd, interesting stuff. And that's what I did. And this coming Tuesday, I'm gonna metal detect there again, so... And this time with my Garrett Ace 400, so stick tuned for that. But yeah, this is possibly a boot end for like the trunk. This probably goes into the trunk. It's hard to imagine. I found a stake into the dirt, and attached to the stake in the loop was 2 keys. I threw away the other one, but I kept this one because it wasn't completely damaged. It's pretty bent a bit, but it's still kind of there. But yeah, 1930s, 1940s, DeSoto car key, or boot key, trunk key. Now the shotgun shells. I was amazed figuring out how old they were. I thought they were gonna be, just a pathetic, or we would never find out how old these things are. Surprisingly enough, we actually found out dates when they were manufactured and when they discontinued. This is not as old as what I thought, but it's still fairly, really old. This one here, it's a 12 gauge, and they were manufactured in 19 Federal cartridge, 12 gauge GA. These were manufactured from 1960 till about 1972, so that's still 50, 60-year-old shotgun shell right there with the material in the back. So this shotgun shell is still really old, so I'm happy with that. It's not over. This one, it could have been misfired. That's why it's sticking out like that. Though the center, I think it says new something. Maybe new club. I don't know. It could be cleaned, but I'm afraid of damaging it. It turned out it's not really. It could be between the years 1901 till about 1920. Yes, I'm not lying to you. Ann and I were shocked finding out how old this one is and the other ones. 1920. This is like 1920 or before, and not after 1920. It could be 1901, but knowing the park was first established in 1896, yeah, it just makes you wonder. 1901, 12 gauge repeater. It's all solid brass, very flimsy. But yeah, it's still over 100-year-old shotgun shell. Yeah. How cool is that? They only made him 19 years, or almost 19 years, 1901 till 1920. So that's a shocker. Now these two surprised me. I found them in different areas of Prospect Park, probably in different soil, but they are the same type of shell. They're both UMC Company 12 gauge Majestic. I was able to figure out the bottom says Majestic. But these shotgun shells are super old. We found out these were only manufactured for a few years. 1904 till 1908. Yep, these shotgun shells are over 100 plus years old. Probably 115 years old or older. I mean, who knows? The person who dropped the 1903 Indian probably was shooting off a few rounds of these. I don't know. You don't know what you're. This I found, I think, at the top of the hill in between the orchards of Prospect Park, probably this around the familiar area where I filmed that live expose 1903 Indian. But yeah, and that's it. Just a bit of history, fascinating history. That's why I'm gonna come back. You never know what you're gonna find. It's really proper park history. It's over 100 years old, and I just found 2 shotgun shells and not only 2 Indians and some relics, but these 2 dating the park in its early years, 1904, 1908. But yeah, that's a bucket list knowing that these are super old. So yeah, and that's it. I hope you guys like this video. I try to put up these videos as what I could, figuring out updates on these relics if I could. Prospect Park, because it surprised me. I was really surprised figuring out these two date, you know, in the early 1900s. I mean, yeah. And this is, please be sure to comment. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.